Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Muck MIRE podcast. Another week, another episode, another victory game week episode of the Muck MIRE, joined by Brandon Furey. Brando, what's up, man? Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm feeling good. Great win Friday night. Couldn't be more proud of the team.
No doubt. I mean, this is something that we talked about, over the last couple of weeks, like when, you and I would talk. Sometimes for the listeners and the viewers, it's so hard to hear and this is not made as any offense to you, but I think the last 2 weeks have shown why my point is valid. Like somebody's 0-4 and they're like, we're really not that far off. I swear, we're not that far. And everybody's watching it going like, yeah. Great. You're putting lipstick on a pig. I know. But listen, now the last 2 weeks, the team has looked wholly, completely different. I mean, certainly you proved yourself right with those comments and the way you guys have performed the last 2 weeks. What's been the difference?
I mean, you can answer that in two ways. You could say Michael Schmelzer is unbelievable at quarterback. And you could say that Alex Benitez is an unbelievable football player, and having him on defense now, a little bit fresher and thinking less on offense, all that combined with Michael playing as well as he has, which, I mean, I watched the Mire, and you were saying no one would have expected this. I didn't even expect this. I knew he was going to be great. I didn't think it'd be this great. So just those two playing as well as they have, and then just everybody else continuing to just do their job and get better every week has just really helped us.
Now, this isn't something that we've spoken about at length off the air because it's really not how we do it. I find it, I guess, for everybody breaking down the fourth wall, I think it's a little more authentic when we just talk about these things for the first time on the air, that, you see him every day in practice. Is the level of play that he has in the game, is he just taking it to a place that you guys don't even see in practice?
Honestly, yes. Like it's like practice is, we can only get so much because we're going against a scout team that is running a different team's playbook, whether it's offense or defense. Some guys aren't really ready for varsity yet. Other guys are, and they're getting better. But there's that aspect of it, and then it's just in the game. There like some unbelievable stuff. Like I think it was the second quarter when he was rolling out left and threw that like jump pass around the defender. Like, I mean, that was unbelievable. I have not seen that before by him. So just to see stuff like that, it's unbelievable. And no, we haven't seen that before.
I mean, now you certainly can answer this probably better than I can. I think that from my position as, a counselor or an adult, somebody that's seen sports for a pretty decent amount of time in my life, there's guys that do what you're describing here. And then there's other guys where the moment is just maybe a little too big for them. They look great in practice when no one's watching, and then all of a sudden the bright lights come on and it's like, holy cow, the weight of whatever is happening just for some reason gets to guys. So I firmly believe that, it's like the internal makeup is something you either have or you do not have it. And at least through 2 games, I'm not trying to anoint him Tom Brady or anything like that. He's 16 years old, but Schmelzer appears to be a guy who just has it upstairs, and the moment is not too big for him. And if anything, he is exceeding those expectations. Have you found that kind of general premise to be true? And are you kind of like on the same page with me about Mike?
Oh, 100%. Like I said, like I knew he was going to be good, but this good and this good under pressure when we need to win out to have a shot at the playoffs. And he made of him as a sophomore quarterback when it wasn't an easy decision for the coaches to, take Alex out and kind of reignite the offense. It's a lot of pressure, and totally, and he and I'm just gonna be more proud of the way that he's so composed. Just poise is something that we Coach Cardi talks about so much, and he really has it, and it gives poise to the rest of us.
Little switcheroo of locations there for you, Furey. I like it. A little bit better internet access at that end of your house. How about something that, we didn't really talk about on the Mire, but I promise you that we're going to, because, as I was doing my thinking over the last couple of days of what we've seen the last couple of weeks, it's jumped out to me, like, at least in my memory banks, you specifically, your ability on defense. Like, I don't know what your tackle numbers are or anything like that. It appears to me anecdotally that, like, you're creating complete havoc in the middle and altering the trajectory of plays. And it's one of those things that may never show up in the stat sheet, but it just looks like you're having a humongous impact defensively. And that is not a space that you really, or any of us really, thought that you were going to be, in this year. How is that? Am I right or am I wrong? I mean, like, you have the numbers and you have the understanding.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just, trying to create havoc in the backfield. I mean, penetration kills zone. We've played a lot of zone teams, so just trying to get in that plus A gap. And I mean, it's just really with the help of the coaches that I've been able to do it. I've never been good at defense my whole life. I've always started whether it was freshman football or Pop Warner, just never really clicked on defense for me. And then just something about this year with the coaching staff helped me. I tweaked something with my stance and like my hand placement over the last couple of weeks. So I think that's helped me too. And yeah, I mean, it's just getting off blocks and, like you said, it doesn't show up in the stat sheet, but I don't really care. I'm used to it. Me taking on two guys and seeing Gavin or Andre or Jalen come around and make a play, or Liam or anyone, I know that without, the D-line taking on double teams, that probably doesn't happen. There was a play we saw on film where me and Jalen both had two guys blocking us, and then other guys came in free. I mean, it's how the defense works, and we're all okay with it. Everyone on the D line has to take on the double teams, so I mean, I couldn't do it without them either.
All right, so we're gonna transition here on the fly live. We're gonna bring in the man, and I'll let him in right now, and then I'll introduce him as he joins us here and gets himself off of mute for a second. I will now give you your proper introduction. He is the man who, it seems to be, maybe Swiss Army knife is not even the correct terminology for him now over the last couple of weeks. He is Montgomery's all-time leading rusher. He's rushed for over 2,000 yards in his career. He is Montgomery High School's all-time leading point scorer. It's certainly making it difficult for whoever comes next to catch him over the last couple of weeks, and hopefully the next couple of weeks. And that is Hugo Alex Benitez. We never go with the Hugo. We always go with the Alex. Alex, what's up, man?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Congratulations on the last couple of weeks.
Thank you. Thank you.
So before we talk specifically about the last couple of weeks, just take us through, the emotions and what it feels like. I mean, so many, accomplishments for you, just kind of numbers wise over the last couple of weeks. Have you had any time to reflect on that and really kind of what it means and where it puts you in the all-time kind of annals of Montgomery athletics?
I don't really think I've really thought about it that much. I mean, I've taken it in, but I haven't really said oh my God, this is crazy. I'm I'm the rushing leader. I have all the point leader. I don't know. It's just a lot, and I'm trying to stay focused week by week. I'm not trying to let that get to me, and just trying to keep moving on every week.
One thing that I'm certain you're aware of is your usage. I mean, I dare almost anybody in the state of New Jersey to find a higher usage rate for a player than what you kind of contribute, certainly offensively, and then now the last 2 weeks defensively. Just physically, man, how are you holding up? You all right?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. I'll be good for next week. That's all that matters.
There you go. I mean, I can't even imagine. We joke about it all the time, but we really shouldn't. I mean, the physical toll that the game of football takes on anybody, and for you guys, you too, especially, you just do so many physical things out there. I can't even imagine the toll that it takes in the preparation to get your body back.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it off air, just the difference of going like just playing offense versus now going both ways as seniors. Like, just it doesn't. We've said, like, I can't ever believe that I was sore or tired during or after a game of just playing offense versus now seeing what it's like going both ways.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm a little scared to ask this of you, Furey, but I'll throw it out to both of you guys. What do you eat? Like, how much are you eating to just sustain the caloric intake necessary to do that? And do you have any sense of how many calories and stuff you burn during a game?
I have no idea how many calories I burn during a game. And I mean, for me, I mean, it's just getting fuel whenever we can. I mean, with school, you see how it is with the lunch line. There's not a lot of options and not a lot of, like, you get one lunch and that's it. So it's just getting nutrition whenever you can, especially with long practices and, hours of homework and all that stuff.
What about you, Alex? What do you eat?
It's kind of the same thing as Brandon said. I mean, when I can eat breakfast, I eat breakfast. At school, when I can eat lunch, I eat lunch, and maybe I throw a couple of snacks in here and there. And then after practice, I have some dinner, and it's pretty much it. It's nothing really like that crazy.
Well, God bless the both of you on that front. So Alex, I had said this to Brandon before you jumped on, talking about the differences in the last 2 weeks versus the first 4. Your ability to play defense, we can touch on that in a minute, but I mean, just offensively, you not, being forced into playing the quarterback position, what has that been able to do for you and for the offense as a whole?
For the offense as a whole, it's definitely opened so much up. I mean, clearly we threw that huge touchdown to Mark, and, against Franklin. I mean, how many names were you guys calling on the stream, right? I think you guys remember saying, like, you guys called like 6 names in like the first half or something like that. So just just everyone is getting involved, and it's what we need, And for me, it feels good to be back at running back and, playing what I play, and it's also going to help me for college to give me like the real looks that I need again.
Defensively, Coach Bartholomew said it on the broadcast the other night. For as valuable a player as you are on offense, and everybody knows how valuable a player you are on offense, it almost appears as though your ability defensively outshines that somehow magically. And we're not saying that only because of the 2 pick sixes this week. Just how many times have we seen you like be the final line of defense? I mean, you make that tackle on special teams the other night. You seems like tackles in the backfield all the time. For you defensively, it looks like you are a maniac out there.
Yeah, I mean, I just love to hit and love being physical. So when it comes to defense, I just bring all that to the table.
Coach Millich said to me off the air a couple of weeks back, as we were talking about you and your career and moving forward and all this other stuff. And I said, Jesus, can you make the kid a safety, please? I said, he flies in like make him an in the box safety. And he's like, I don't know, with the ball, going over his head, maybe he's not so great. Well, you picked off 2 passes this week. So maybe you pushing back against that a little bit. How are you able to kind of transition, after not really having done that for 2 years, to put yourself in a position to make plays like that, especially as it showed up this past week?
So last year I played inside linebacker, which I struggled at, and but coming into this year, like during the off season, we do like 7-on-7s with a couple of our teammates, and like I got to grasp the concept of playing outside linebacker. So then it kind of came more natural to me. And then Coach Santa last week, when I finally started getting reps on defense, he said he wished he knew that I was like this natural at outside linebacker last year. So I like, instead of putting me at inside linebacker, he could have had me at the outside spot.
Furey, what about for you up front? You know, I mean, I think defensively, the casual observer would think defensive linemen, it's like, all right, you guys are the big uglies, just go like move forward, try to get in the backfield. Certainly it's more complicated than that. How much does, you know, adding another dynamic piece at the level behind you help in terms of what your assignments are up front?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've seen the difference over the last 2 weeks, and I mean, we saw last year against Scotch Plains, they were able to get the edge on us a lot, and just, you know, as a D lineman, a lot of times when you're playing Scotch Plains, they're trying to get to the outside, and we're kind of running inside out, and just having Alex there to set the edge, and then either make the play or force it back into someone else running the ball. It's huge. And, you know, when teams get outside and can constantly move the ball outside, and just march down the field, it's demoralizing. And just having Alex there kind of make those plays, and it's just elevating everybody else.
One of the everybody else's, and I don't really care which of you gets this, if not both of you, somebody who has completely started to shine, in my opinion, you know, since the reorganization, if you will, is Gavin Gaddy. I mean, to me, he made a couple of humongous plays this past weekend, and you just see him really flying around the ball. How have you guys seen him emerge?
I've actually, all offseason, I knew he was going to be a good player. I didn't think it would be like this, and I think he kind of fell under the radar the first couple weeks, like before Alex was playing defense, like, but he's been around the ball every single game, and he's just getting better and better every week. We watch film, and Coach Santa's not the most, doesn't give out the most compliments during film, but we're starting to see Gavin get some more of those. Just being in the right spot and being the mic in our defense it's difficult. You have to know all the reads and a ton of stuff that as a nose guard I don't have to know. But just seeing him thrive and get around the ball at every play, it's unreal.
As you guys kind of keep progressing through this season, I know, you know, having played sports, that there's just things that stick out in your mind that when you guys talk, I'm sure when you're hanging out, that you're like, how awesome was that? Like, what have been the most fun parts of this for you guys? Like,
well, we just, especially after Friday night, it's been like, oh, we've rewatched the game like 3 times. Like, it's just the whole, like the atmosphere of the game, and just we just really wanted it that night, and we really wanted to go out there and show Scotch Plains that like we're like, and the whole state, that we're not a joke anymore, like, and that we have the talent and we have the potential, and that we can do it all.
Yeah, that was definitely my favorite one of high school so far. Just that was kind of the game where it just all got put together. Franklin, we were good. We left some. We still had some key mistakes against Franklin. There's also lower competition. You know, to get there's nothing like getting a big win against a good team, especially with the history and what happened last year. And just we knew if we lost that game, as Coach Millich put it, we'd be playing for pride at that point. But we got ourselves back into it. We sit at 17, and the power rankings need to be top 16 to make the playoffs. So we're setting ourselves up and kind of just controlling our own destiny. If we win, we're going to get in.
You had alluded right there, and I'll kind of fill in some gaps for the people listening when you said, well, with what happened last year against Scotch Plains, Scotch Plains came into our place, and we did not win. I'll leave it at that. last year with COVID protocols too. Post-game handshake was not a thing. So teams kind of lined up on the hashes and gave each other like a cordial wave. And let's just say that there was some not nice things that were lobbed back and forth. So just for you guys, how much did that factor into the motivation going into last weekend?
That was everything. We remembered it, that part. And then I was telling the O-line all week, the O-line and D-line, we were physically dominated last year. They beat us up front, and that was ultimately what decided the game. So I knew that going into it this week, we needed to raise our level. And we weren't going to forget that. I certainly wasn't. And then all that at the end, calling us soft, and then seeing them drop like flies at the end kind of felt good.
What about for you, Alex?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, they were hooting and hollering after the game and after last year's game and calling us soft and all this stuff. So that was the biggest thing for us. Like we had a chip on our shoulder, like coming into this game against them, because they were just the way they thought that they were so much better than us, because they beat us by 2 points, and they had one good year, and they thought they were going to come in again and do it again. And we were just ready to play. And yeah, like Brandon said, they in the third and fourth, they just started dropping like flies. And it was funny because supposedly like we were the soft ones, right? But clearly it didn't show that.
Didn't work out that way. Alex, for you offensively too, there's one of the things that I've found to be, and this might sound a little backwards at first, to be really impressive, is that everything for you hasn't been these massive explosive plays. Explosive plays are fun and great. I personally believe, especially in a game like football, when you have to, as a defender, like lean on Alex Benitez all day long for 18, 20 carries, like he's going to pop out. You're going to pop out, off the edge, on one in the third or fourth quarter or two or three. And we've seen that the last couple of weeks. Last week, one got called back because of a penalty. And this week, you were able to find some of that room for you. How kind of gratifying is that when you are able to kind of bust out into the open after kind of, just a grinded out effort, which is like very much appears to be your playing style, which I love.
It definitely feels good, but the biggest thing in my mind is, once I break the secondary kind of, and, I kind of have like a safety to beat, I'm just thinking like, don't get hawked. Like, I have a history of breaking away for a big run and then getting hawked by safety or another player. So I mean, it feels great. It definitely feels great, but I'm just thinking, just keep those legs moving as fast as you can and just keep going. Don't look back. But yeah, it feels good.
Give Jenkins a little grief this week after that, getting hawked and fumbling after that interception.
Yeah. Hey, but it's all right. We came back and
he's happy.
I was gonna say,
he got the pick six a couple plays later.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
You stole the glory. So there you go. The concept of momentum, I won't get into my diatribes like I do in basketball season. Furey knows these well, about how I hate the concept of momentum because I think it's ludicrous for at least strong-minded people. But I'll indulge you all right now. 2 wins in a row, homecoming next week. At least the appearance, the concept of momentum going into this week, staying at home, a big time game, likely to have a really nice crowd again. Obviously, what homecoming means to everybody. Where are your minds as it relates to all that stuff?
Just focused on getting another win. If we go out and lay an egg, I mean, that's it. So we got to stay focused. Doesn't matter what their record is. I mean, look at our record. We don't look that good either. So we still need to get better. And looking at the score, you probably won't think it, but we left a lot on the field in the first half. It was a 7-6 game at halftime. And we only ran 40 plays on offense, 70 on defense. So there's a lot of room left of improvement. my snaps were not good, so I know I need to work on that going into this week, and we just got to keep getting better every day.
But for you, Alex, like as you kind of, peek forward through the windshield at what you have coming up this week, what are you thinking? Goals, other than obviously win the game, where's your head at?
Definitely with Brandon. We want to stay focused. It's definitely going to be a great atmosphere again, as it was Friday night. But we're in a fighting spot right now, so we don't have the time to get distracted by things. So we just got to keep every day at practice, just keep like giving it 100% and staying focused. And week by week we're 0-0. So now we're looking to go 1-0 this week, and then just keep moving and keep fighting for that playoff spot.
All right, so now I want to end this with something a little bit more fun, rather than just talking football. I'm going to throw out some questions, and both of you guys just give me the first things that come to your mind. Favorite teacher in high school?
Oh man.
Oh God.
I gotta say Figs. That's my guy since 8th grade, so I gotta go with him. But
Health and PE, Vinny Figueroa, for those that don't know. Okay, Benitez, what about you?
I'd probably say my English teacher, Miss Caltieri.
Okay. I'm going to give you this one, and then I'm going to ask a couple other questions because I want you to be able to like think about this one for a second, and I don't want dead air. I'm going to ask you at the end of this, what's the one thing, or give me a thing that you learned in high school that you were like, whoa, I didn't know that. That was cool. All right. So think on that for a minute. Favorite NFL or college football team, both of you?
Ravens. They're going to beat the Chargers today. Lamar's going to show he's the best quarterback in the league.
I'm a Giants fan.
I'm sorry to hear that. I'm a Falcons fan, so I'm with you, but
Yes.
it is what it is. Favorite football moment of your lives that you participated in?
Oh.
It's just supposed to be rapid fire, boys.
Scotch Plains win.
Yeah.
Oh, is there? Come on, is there recency bias there?
No,
I don't think so. I have never seen the locker room like that.
Yeah.
I've never seen the coaches like that after a game.
The atmosphere was crazy. That's the biggest thing. Like the whole like everyone in the stands, it was just electric. It was crazy. And then, like Brandon said, the locker room after, it was just insane.
Okay. Favorite sport other than football?
Baseball.
Basketball.
Team? What teams?
Yankees.
Miami Heat.
You are such a weirdo. How did you come up with all this stuff? How did you become a fan of the Ravens and the Heat?
The Heat, just a big Dwayne Wade fan. The Ravens, kind of liked Ray Rice going in from college to the NFL. So
that one didn't work out so hot.
It didn't, but
no.
Yeah.
That's all right. All right. So I'll get, as we flip back to the one thing you guys have learned in high school that you're like, whoa, that was cool. I will give you mine, which will give you another minute to think about this. One of my favorite podcasts, I listen to a ton of podcasts. One of my favorite podcasts of all time is this. It's a scripted podcast, but it's all based in realistic history. It's called 1865, and it's set from the moment that President Lincoln gets shot and moves forward. So that, like, the concept of that was a little out there. And I was like, oh, and it was awesome. Like, it was like a telenovela on podcast form. Who even thought that would be a good thing? But it was awesome. And the one thing that I learned out of that was there was a U.S. Senator, Lucy Hale, who attended the Lincoln inaugural ball. She was engaged to Robert Lincoln, who was Abraham Lincoln's son. She brought John Wilkes Booth to the presidential inaugural ball as her guest, and she was having an affair with John Wilkes Booth while engaged to Robert Lincoln. How about that? That's my favorite drop of knowledge that I learned in the last couple of years.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was expecting it to be more about high school, but that's
Well, I mean, I don't know. The reason why I thought of that was because Pogue and I got Pogue listening to that podcast too, and he was like, "There's no way that all this stuff is true," and it totally is. But I said, if they just taught us this stuff in high school, we totally all would have remembered it, right? I mean, but nobody brought that up in history class.
Man,
So anyway, all right, what do you got?
I don't know. It's a tough one.
I can go first if you're not ready.
Yeah, go ahead.
Day to day, little things do not matter, and just growing as a person and working on yourself and setting yourself up with habits, not knowledge, but habits and getting in routines and being able to do stuff like that versus memorizing everything for a quiz or a test. Those things is what matters.
General McRaven or Admiral McRaven, make your bed. Start the day out right. Big picture habits. I like it. What do you got, Alex?
So now that Brandon said little things, so our motto our sophomore year was the little things. So it's just like kind of like something that stuck with me. Like, you know, sometimes I throw like a wrapper into it. Like I want to throw a wrapper in the garbage and I miss and I want to walk away, but then I'm like, no, I should just go put it back in the garbage. Just like those little things, like they become a habit in your life. And they, as Coach Shannon would say, if you do the little things, the big things will like it'll all come together. So that's actually one thing that I learned.
Well, you're aware of that Dak Prescott story? The same thing with that, did you even ever see this?
I think he sent us the video, but I don't remember what it was.
Okay. So when
it was the
Dak,
practice. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
He threw a cup in the garbage. I think it was actually during a night game. It was either Sunday night or Monday night game. And you know, obviously he didn't know the camera was on him, but it was like one of those Gatorade cups, and he threw it at the garbage and missed it, and then went over and picked it up. And it was like, you know, that's a lot of that has been made of that. And I know that pain is going to pain you, Benitez, as a Giant fan, but you know, it seems like Dak's got his in order or stuff in order. Oh, I'm going to have to bleep that out. Damn it. Oh, God. All right. Anyway, that's all I got. Boys, thank you so much for being a part of this morning. It was fun. And maybe we'll do this again before the season's over.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Mr. Glock.
Thanks, Glock.
Anytime. That's Brandon Furey and Alex Benitez on this episode of the Muck MIRE podcast. Make sure you join us live on Friday night for homecoming. Pregame will be at 6:30 p.m. in our usual spot. And hopefully Cougs can go for 3 in a row. Thanks for watching.